Welcome in the sewing room. So glad y'all are here with me this afternoon. It's a nice day. It's warm. Sun's trying to come out. It's trying to come out. Yes. And you know, I'm on this pincushion jag right now. So I found another pincushion pattern. As a matter of fact, I've got 2 or 3 more. Eek. But we can never have too many pincushions. You have to have something to stick your pins in. You need one here, there, and somewhere else, right? So I found this cute little snail. Found him on Etsy. Look at that. Isn't he just cute? His name is Sheldon. Isn't he cute? And I thought we'd make him. So, y'all go get your pattern, download it, come back, and let's make Sheldon. All right, to make Sheldon, you need your pattern. He was not expensive. I do not remember how much I paid for him, but he was not expensive on Etsy. Download it. It comes with pattern printing instructions. Their shop policies. A test square. And then the instructions says, please read instructions before beginning. All seams are 1/4 inch. Remember that, unless stated differently. Trace and cut all pattern pieces from paper, which I just printed mine out again because I didn't see the need to trace it. But you got 3 pattern pieces right there. And then it says you cut these from felt. Your body's from felt, and then your shell segments are cotton, okay? And this felt is heavier. This is not just your average craft felt that I'm using. I picked this up sometime back, a while back. I don't even know how long I've had it, at Hobby Lobby, just because I saw it, and I love to do needle felting. You know, you take it and just do this with your wool and stuff. I love to do that. Take out your frustrations and just beat stuff to death. And this was with where that stuff was. It was kind of with the embroidery floss and all that kind of stuff. That's where this was. And they come in squares. 5, 6, maybe 6-inch squares. About 7-inch squares, maybe. About 6.5-inch squares is what they come in, okay? Because I was barely able to cut this at the diagonal, like this. Barely able to cut it on the diagonal. So they're probably about 6-inch squares. And the base, the back, and the front, or the front and the back. Either way, doesn't really matter. And then your shell segments, and you need 6 of these, okay? 6. And I've got all my pieces cut out, and you need some buttons. And I didn't know what size buttons, so I've got 2 different sizes of buttons. I've got these, yellow and purple, that are this size. And then I've got the green ones that are this size. And I'm thinking this will be the size we use, but we'll decide that when the time comes. I really liked this orange one, but I didn't have but one. I wasn't going to go buy more buttons. No, not just for that. So, we've got our pieces cut out. You got your pieces cut out? You good to go? I'm good to go. Got our pieces cut out. And then it says to do hand embroidery for his mouth. I don't like to do that. Plus, I've got embroidery floss. Starts I didn't have embroidery floss, but I do have embroidery floss. So we could do that, I suppose. It wouldn't take much because he's just got a little bitty mouth and 2 eyes. But I could also use my markers, my fabric markers. There's the red. And here's the black. And I think that's what I'll do. I think this is what I'll do because it's easier. And I'll do that in the very end because that way we won't smear it. Or if you're using this, you could even just do your needle felting and felt it in there. With just a little piece of red yarn. Yes, you could. I'm not sure where my felting needle is at the moment, or I'd show y'all how to do that. And then do your little eyes with some black. But I'm not sure where it is. So we're going to use our markers today because it's easy. If you don't have fabric markers, Sharpie markers will work. All right. All right. Pin the two bodies wrong sides together, which mine don't really have a right and a wrong side. This is the body. See right here, the body. Pin them together. So I've lost my pins, but right here's my pin cushion. Y'all, that's still healing up where I burnt my finger making this pin cushion. This one requires no. All right, it says to place them, I think it said wrong sides together. Yes, wrong sides together, and use 2 strands of embroidery thread in a matching color to work a small blanket stitches around the body. This you can do by hand. I'm not going to do it by hand. I'm going to blanket stitch it with my sewing machine. You can zigzag stitch it. You can straight stitch it. But you do not want to go across this bottom because this is where our base goes. Okay? Like this. Okay? So, I'm going to go over there and go around this top right here. I don't know if y'all need to see me today or not. I'm going to go over there. Oh, now y'all going to fall over on me. I'm going to go over there, sewing machine, blanket stitch, right around to here. See? Lay them together and blanket stitch right around the edge, leaving the bottom open. Okay? So y'all go do that and come right. Okay, now then, see, I blanket stitched that around there, just like that. My back looks more like a zigzag for whatever reason, but it's fine. It's just fine. All right, now then, we need to put our base on. And to do that, you want to kind of open this up to where it'll lay flat, kind of all the way around. And just lay it on here, just like this. See that? And then you're going to blanket stitch all the way around this. But you're going to leave open about a 2-inch section right around in here so that you can stuff him, okay? And you're going to just keep going on around here just like this until you get it all stitched around, all right? So go stitch that part on and come back and we'll stuff it. All right, here's our bag of polyfill. It comes with a stick inside it. If you don't have a chopstick, this is what you use to push your stuffing in. See that? It's got kind of a tapered end there, a very rounded end here, okay? If you've got a chopstick, use it. I've got both. So you just kind of take it and stuff it in there. Get it going good with your hands and then use that to get it in all of its little nooks and crannies, okay? Because you will need it when you go to get it in its tail right here. You want to stuff him very firm, okay? Very, very firm. As firm as possible. And if you are using crushed walnuts, like a lot of people do, and I just honestly would love to, I just have not made an effort, I suppose, to stop and get any. because that would be great for this bottom part down here. It would be a little more weighty and everything. And if you want to make you some felted fabric like this, and if you are handy at knitting and crocheting, all you need to do is knit or crochet you like a very simple stitch. Straight knits or a stockinette stitch in knitting, or just rows of single crochets back and forth until you have something about 4 or 5 times the size of whatever it is you need. But the trick is you need to use 100% wool yarn. And then you're going to throw that little thing in the washing machine, and you're going to wash it with hot water, and you're going to put it in the dryer. And you're going to get it out, and you're going to have a nice piece of felted fabric. Okay? Depending on how thick your yarn is, will depend on how thick your final piece is. So if you are handy that way, and if you live somewhere where wool yarn is very prevalent, here in the U.S. it is not. We have to order, if you get any colors of any kind, you have to order it. And I do order from Hobby, Hobbie, or Hobby, whatever. Whatever it is that you want to call that, because I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. Some of you over in the UK might be able to tell me. So, anywho, you all can keep me up to date on how to pronounce that. But I've ordered from them, and they've got a nice wool yarn that comes in a very wide array of colors, and it's very easy and very nice to work with. Matter of fact, all their yarns have been easy and nice to work with. And you're going to get this stuffed about as tight as you can stuff it. And then you're going to sew this up with a blanket stitch. All right. But you want to just keep stuffing it in there until you can't get any more stuffing in it. See, and I'm still stuffing. Still stuffing. So let's put a little bit more. Takes more stuffing than you realize. You just have to keep stuffing. And I don't think I can get much more in there. So, get me a couple of clips right here that are good and strong. Kind of pull this together as best I can right here. And pop these clips on there. These are larger clips. I actually bought these for something else in my kitchen. And I believe I've about stuffed him all I can stuff him. So I'm going to take him back over there, and I'm going to stitch that little bit right there, okay? And mine's different colors, and I just like it that way. I think he's cute. And so I'm going to blanket stitch right across here. And I'm going to do it with the machine, because y'all know I don't like to hand sew. I like to do everything with the machine because I'm lazy. So I'm going to stitch it with the machine, come back, and we'll do our next step. Okay, this would not go back on my machine, so we are doing it by hand. Bring y'all down here and show you how to do it. Just like this, come straight across, wrap this around, and pull it through. That's how you do a blanket stitch. Because he had to be stuffed so tight that I could not get it under the machine. So you just want to pull that closed as best you can right here. Pull it close together. I'm going to start stuffing that back down in there because I'm going to pull that a little bit closer. Don't want all those fluffies coming out. And this is not very good. But that's okay. He'll still make me smile when I'm up here in my sewing room. And that's all that matters, is if he makes me smile or not. Alrighty, I'm going to call that a win. I don't much like it, the way it looks, but like I said, as long as he makes me smile, that's all that matters. I'm going to put a couple of knots in this right here, just like that, and call that a win. He kind of looks like a little bird, doesn't he? Kind of looks like a little bird. Set him down flat, maybe. All right, we're going to call that a win. Let's see what we do next. What do y'all think we're going to do next? Our next step's going to be, got to make his little shell, don't we? Let's see what the directions say. We've cut our 6 segments out. I even actually got out embroidery floss for that, y'all. I did. I actually got out embroidery floss. Here's our 6 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Guess we need to kind of lay these dark light, kind of maybe like that a little bit. All right, we got our pieces cut out. I'll get y'all off the directions here. I'm making a mess. Got everything out. All right, now then, maybe we can see what we're doing. All righty, now then. right, this is what I thought we were going to do. All right, you see these little dots on our pattern piece? We're going to mark those, transfer them over to these pieces here. And we'll do it on the wrong side because we need to start and stop our stitching there, okay? All right, let me get a marker, a pen, something that we can use right here. Let's poke a hole in that, those scissors. It's probably not a good use of my good scissors, is it? I transferred that though. As soon as I got a hole in it, we're going to mark each one of these so we know where we start and where we stop our stitching. And we're going to stitch them right sides together. 2, and then we'll have 3 sections, and then we'll stitch the 3 sections together. All right. We've got them laid out here the way that we want them to be. Nose is itching, you all. This dust up here. It's been dry lately. We've not had much rain, and the wind's blowing. Do I have anybody out there that lives in Wyoming that watches? We were looking at property out in Wyoming. Not that I think I want to move there because you have no trees. And I love trees, so I do not think I want to live in Wyoming. Because I would like to have a lot of land. But I need lots of trees. And I'm not a fan of the wind. So, y'all let me know what your weather is like. Wherever you are, let me know what your weather is. Because, you know, who knows? I might want to move there. I know I've got a lady in the Dominican Republic, and I know I'd like to live there. It stays warm down there and sunny. I would love that. I absolutely would love that. Alrighty, here's our little snail. He's going to be so cute when we get his little thing put together here. All right, we're going to lay these right sides together, just like this. And we're going to stitch them from point A to point B. We're going to stitch these from point A to point B, and we'll stitch these from point A to point B, okay? On your machine, stitch them 1/4 inch seam, and then come right back. All right, it says to clip your seams, and y'all know I like to use my pinking shears to do that. So it just trims it and clips it in at the same time, and it's great. Okay, so here we go. Then we're going to lay these out again, and we're going to sew all 3 of these together. Got 3 more seams, but we're going to leave a small opening to turn it through. All right. There's a thread. Clip that off. All right, now then we're going to open these up just like this. And I'm going to lay them pretty sides together. I'm going to sew there. Then I'm going to lay this one on, and I'm going to sew it. Okay? So, right like this. You got them open like this. Just like this. And we're going to sew. We're going to make sure this matches right here. And we're going to sew from this beginning right here around to here. Okay? Just going to do the one the one section. You don't want to do both sections because we've got another one that goes in right here. Okay, so you go sew those two seams and come back to me. All right. Okay, it's a new day. I had some things come up yesterday and I did not get this finished, so we're back today to try to finish our little snail. And I'm just trimming up these last seams that I did yesterday. Oh, goodness, is that one? That's too close. I need to come in here and bring that in just a hair bit. So let me do that. That's one thing when you start trimming your seams, you do notice small things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this, but I'm going to re-sew it. Okay, now I've got all the seams trimmed and I've got it turned right side out. I left me a hole right here. Okay, left me a hole. Now then we're going to stuff it with our stuffing. It says to stuff it very firmly. That's so it'll hold your pins. Okay. You know, my mama used to use old nylon pantyhose to stuff stuff with. I can remember her saving all of hers that had runs in them and so forth. But you know, people don't wear nylon pantyhose anymore. They got very expensive for one thing, but they just don't wear pantyhose. People don't wear hose, stockings. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I never did like them. I wore them to work though when I worked. Wore them all the time. Every day I'd get up and put on pantyhose. Lord, my mama wore a girdle every day. And all that stuff. You just want to stuff this little ball as best you can. It looks like a little beach ball, actually. Just keep stuffing till you can't stuff anymore. I don't believe I can get much more in there. Stuff just a little bit more. Then we're going to sew it up. Right along here. I'm going to sew it up. Get me some thread here. You're going to use what they call a ladder stitch. That's what they call it. I don't know. I just call it a stitch. Oops. Didn't get my needle threaded, did I? Okay. And I always use double thread. The reason I like to do this is you don't unthread your needle. You don't unthread your needle. And I'm going to come in up here. Back just a little ways up in there, okay? Then you're going to catch it right here on this side and pull it. Then you're going to go to this side and make you a little stitch and pull it across. And you're going to come back across here, make you a little stitch. I don't know if y'all can even see what I'm doing. Get y'all over here where you can see. Just turn it back up under a little ways. Get you just a tiny little stitch like that right there. And just pull it. Okay. Come back over to this side. Make you a little stitch. and pull that. And see, as you pull it up, it just pulls it right together. See how that does? Pulls it together. You just want to keep doing that until you've gotten this right here all sewn up. Okay? So just keep going back and forth and pulling until you get the whole thing sewn up. Then your stitches will pull it together. Okay? Just like that. All right, now then, we've got this all stuffed, sewn up. Now then, it says to take a doll needle, which is one of these really long needles. And it says 2 long doll needles right there. These came from Hobby Lobby, $1.49. I don't know where the other one is. I think it's right over there. But then I'm going to take my craft and button, right here, craft and button thread, because it is heavier. Okay? It's a heavy thread. See how heavy that thread is? You could also use embroidery floss if you want to. But you want a heavier thread because you're going to be pulling this. If you can get the needle threaded. I'm having a hard time seeing today, you all. There we go. There again, I'm going to pull it together and tie my ends together, because if I don't, I'll end up having to thread this needle every time I sew a stitch. And I don't want to have to do that. I don't know about you, but that just takes all the fun out of it. All right, we're going to go right here and go right in like this to get this started, okay? Just like that, just got it caught. And I changed and got me some wooden buttons because I wasn't a fan of the green one that I had. You want to put your button on there, come right down through here in the center, and you want to come up through the center on the other side. And that can be challenging because you want to find the center. Or close to the center. And I think that's about as close to the center as I'm going to get. Pull it up like this. Pull it through, okay? Make sure you get all of it pulled through. All right, got that. Now then, we're going to put our other button on the other side. We're going to tuft this up. And hopefully, we're going to come back up through and pull this. Pull your button down. Right like that. Okay? You want to come back up through, come up underneath this one. Go right back into this buttonhole, okay? And pull it down. Then, we'll do the same thing and come back up through these holes. If you can. Right like that. Do you see now why you need that really long needle? So you can tuft this up good. And the more you do this, the easier it becomes because you're pulling that in together. Okay? And it holds it tighter that way as well. Okay, well, that's not wanting to come back up through there. I can't see where it's coming through. It's right there. All right. Well, y'all, I can't seem to, because it's way out there. There we go. And I'm going to go back through here one more time, and that's going to be it. Then we're going to tie this off, because that is perfect, the way we want him to look. As a matter of fact, I think I'm just going to tie it off right here. Okay, pull this through quite a ways, clip it, and it goes right back through there. See that? Perfect on both sides. We tied our little knot, pulled it down through there, and we're good. Now then, we can put our great big needle back away. I like to keep them in this little case just because it makes things a little simpler. Now then, I'm going to sew this on. Let's find our needle and thread that we just had. We had one that was longer, I think. Yeah, this one's got more thread on it. We're going to sew our shell onto our little snail here. All right, I'm going to go right through here. This is the seam that I sewed by hand, and it's the ugliest one, so I'm going to put it on the bottom. Okay, but whatever you want to do. Then you just kind of put him on here as best you can. Just going to kind of see where he goes. You could glue him with hot glue, but y'all know why I do with hot glue, so we're not going to do that. And then I'm just going to catch it right there. Then I'm going to come back over here to this side. I'm going to catch it right here. And that'll kind of tack it in place and hold it while I sew it. And y'all know I'm not the best hand sewer in the world. That is not my forte. It is not. And there's no rhyme or reason to this, y'all. I'm just trying to sew it on here. And I think I'm going to change and get me a bigger needle, a longer needle. And we're going to try this another way because my needle's just not long enough. This is what he's going to look like. I got to tack him all the way up through here. Look at him. Is he not just the cutest little thing ever? Oh my goodness. We got to give him a face. Let's do that. Oh, we got to do that last because I'll mess it up. I know I will. All right, let me sew him on and then I'll come back and we'll give him his little face. Okay, there he is. Let's put our little face on him. Give him a little mouth. A little mouth in red. There's his little mouth. Now we've got to give him 2 eyes on each side. So 4 eyes. He's going to be a 4-eyed snail. Look at him. Isn't he cute? Look. I think he needs some hair, but I don't know how. Snails don't have hair. But I still think he needs a little bit of hair. What do y'all think? Isn't he cute? We'll stick some pins in him. Look at that. Get y'all back. He's finished. Look how cute he is. Look at that cute little snail. I just think he's precious. Got another pin cushion. I've got my dog, my beehive, and a snail. What can we do next? I've got a turtle and an elephant. We're going to make those too, just because I think they're so cute. And they just make me happy. So we do what makes us happy. I think I might stitch that right there. I just stitched it around here. I'm trying to get him to stand up. I think I stuffed his bottom too much because he's wobbly. See how it's all kind of curved down there at the bottom? He may just have to lay down, be a lay down snail. Oh well, he makes me happy whether he's standing up or laying down, either one. This pattern is, I'll show y'all one more time if you want to screenshot it. Came from Etsy. Right there it is. You can screenshot it. There's the pattern on Etsy. To go buy this pattern, no, they didn't give it to me. No, they didn't. I've not even contacted him. Oh, he needs his little antennas. That's what he needs. I knew he needed something. I don't think it even tells you in here to make his little antennas. Yeah, it does. Tie a knot in the end. Yep, you do that. Let's do that and then we'll come back and finish it. All right, here's some bias binding right here. Just a couple pieces. I already had it sewn together. I do not have a chenille stick, but I do have a little piece of wire. So I'm going to tie me a knot in the end of this if I can. Should have tied the knot before I cut them in two. All right, let me sew this up and I'll be back. Okay, now then, got my two little pieces sewn together with the knots at the ends. I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to stick it right up through here. Right like that. Then because my wire is really long and it's just a wire, I don't have to sew this. I can stick it right down through here Well, I did a minute ago. Let's see if I can now. There we go. Just stick it down right like that. And then you can shape his ears or his little antennas however you want to. Mine might be a little bit long. So in that case, take it off and cut it off. Stick it back on there. Look at there. He does look better. I will have to agree that he looks better. Now then. Probably will have to glue them or sew them or something on there because they're wanting to. Now he's finished. It's got his little antennas. He looks finished. And I stuck some little bird pins in him. Because what's cuter than a little bird sitting on a little snail? I don't know. But isn't he cute? And some flowers. I think he's precious. He's double-sided. He smiles at me no matter which way he is. He's always looking at me. I call him a he. It could be a her. What do y'all think? His name is Sheldon. Or the two brown birds named him Sheldon. Here's your pattern. Back up so y'all can see. Here it is. Go make you a little snail pin cushion. We're going to make some more pin cushions. These are cute gifts. These are cute for your secret sewing sisters. These are cute for your sewing buddy or quilting buddy. They're good for craft fairs. Who wouldn't pay $15 or $20 for this cute little snail? I would. Maybe even more. I don't know how much. You just have to figure out what your market would afford for you to sell him for. I just think he's so cute. I can't quit looking at him. Go download your pattern and make you a little snail. Don't forget to hype. Hit that hype button, y'all. That helps tremendously. It really does. More than the thumbs up, but hit the thumbs up too. Leave me comments. And if you've not already hit the subscribe button, it's right down below. Go down there, hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. Really helps out my channel and helps me out. So go make you a snail. Do all the other things. And I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.